Hey everybody, it's Kenny K here again with a 1990 creature feature horror movie, Shakma. It gets a 5 on IMDb and it gets 5 from me. Um, Now, this is directed by Hugo Parks. Hugh Parks. You got Christopher Atkins, who plays Sam. He's the main lead. He also played in the Blue Lagoon. Um, then we have Amanda Wine. She plays Tracy. She plays one of the main female leads, and she played in the first Highlander movie with Christopher Reeve. Um, and Roddy McDowell from A Clockwork Orange. He plays Professor Sorensen. And of course, the dreaded Rob Zombie variation of Dr. Loomis. Ooh. Then you have some campus members, Kim, Gary, Bradley, and Richard. Now, the this movie, it's about a campus that is testing on live animals. Don't like that shit, and especially not on monkeys. But they have a baboon and they want to test it for something. So they're cutting it open to test whatever, brain, whatever. And it becomes more hysterical, and Sam has to tranquilize it with 20 mgs of that stuff. But the Professor Sorsen says he can't be saved anymore. Just give him 200 mgs and then I can do an autopsy on him. But that would kill him. Yeah, I want to do an autopsy on him. Because Sam was taken care of, he got a relationship. I mean, a fondness between Shakma. He gave him a toy gorilla plush, and things like that. And so he's kind of devastated of the fact that they're gonna kill Shakma. Now, the funny thing about this movie is when everybody's gone, this group, Kim, Gary, Bradley, Richard, Professor Sorensen, Tracy, Sam, they stay behind because they're gonna play live Dungeons and Dragons in the campus. And Professor Sorensen is the I don't know the game. I never played it. I would like to play it once. He's the master who controls everything. So he sees this. It's this picture, but it looks like a Nintendo game. Remember the NES? Oh my God, the NES, a Nintendo game. And there are multiple computers behind curtains with a NES kind of graphic on them. It's fun. It's just the NES back then, but he can apparently see you when you're on that specific floor, and he can open doors for you, or he he says you can go to that door now because you found a key or you found a trinket or something, and you can now go to that door. So the game master, I guess he's the game master. Now the first one to crow. Now, of course, Shakma is also playing this game as the monster of the game. Nobody noticed it, but he's also a player. He kills, the first one he kills is I believe Richard. He gets, he and another guy gets the coolest kill. Him and Bradley. He so spoilers from this on this movie. Uh, so you've got this monkey, of course, this baboon running havoc on this campus, but and it for some and it picks them off one by one until there's just one man uh, left over, a final man, not a final girl. Um, but there are things about the movie that doesn't make sense and that I would like to see different. And it's a movie. Listen, if you're a creature feature horror fan, you know, with creatures like Jaws, you know, but that was lightning in a bottle, of course. Piranha was also a really good movie from Joe Dante. Then I recommend this movie. It's a 5, so it's, for me it's a recommendation. If you do not like creature feature movies, this may be not up your alley. It does get boring at in the middle part of the movie where everybody's just wandering around. Even Shakma is getting bored, and that, of course, brings down the movie a little bit. Now, if you still want to see spoilers from now on, so Richard's the first one to get it. He gets, Shakma attacks his throat, but the way he attacks him is pretty cool. He runs towards him. They try to use as much of the real baboon as possible. He, you can see him striding towards him, and like, you know, and he then you see him just ripping out his jugular out of his throat, and that was pretty gnarly. Um, Bradley then goes in and he sees Richard's dead body. He sees the monkey. He hides in the closet, but he does something, okay, that I would do, but I wouldn't do it like what he does. You see, he sees a ball of acid, you know, and he does it in a glass. I'll never do it in a glass because, first of all, it makes waves if you walk. If it falls on your hand, it burns. You let it fall, boom, there you go. And he holds it like this. Who the fuck holds a glass of acid like this? And the monkey, of course, jumps on him and he fucking acid on his face. And that was a gnarly kill because his face is completely burned. His eyeball is open. I mean, it's the skin around it is open. I personally would have used the bottle, and if it was tin glass, I would have thrown the bottle to Shakma, or I would have just opened the cap and started to spray it to Shakma. That's the most logical way. then at some point Gary gets it. He gets it in the I think he gets it in the hallway. Shakma is striding towards him. Also, same kind of kill. He's always going to the neck, you know, to the jugular. Um, Roddy McDowell sees it's obviously like a Nintendo game, but he sees the people. He can see apparently in Nintendo mode people in Nintendo graphics people disappearing. They're all disappearing on the fourth floor. That's the floor where all the research is happening, right? And he goes and see. He finds Richard's dead body. He sees Shakma. He wants to run away, but he forgot to put the key. He put a key in the elevator so it wouldn't go away. He pulls the key out, and he knows it's too late. And whoomp, he flies on him, and in the elevator he gets mangled to death. And then you've got Sam, but Sam is he's a macho. He's a macho. He's, in my opinion, a sexist. The guy who we have to root for is always saying to the women, "No, no, no, you stay here. I go alone. I don't want to drag you along. You stay here." He says that to Tracy, and what happens? That gets her killed. He says that to Kim, and what happens? That gets her killed. Instead of bring, I would bring them with me, eyes in the back of my head, and shakma. Okay, a baboon is like this big. You can tear it off, you know, and throw it away. Take a fucking broomstick or something and just, you know what I mean? It's he's so stupid. And then he's super, and then he's carrying them like, ah, you idiot. Yeah, you're not gonna get it, Sammy boy. You're gonna be Captain Right Hand or Lieutenant Left Hand. Especially Kim. She dressed herself up with this Aladdin kind of dress, and she had the body for it. She was beautiful, sexy girl, and she wanted him. She really wanted him. And Tracy wanted him too, because they were already making out at some point in a classroom, and so he had two girls who wanted to ride his shakma. Now, Tracy dies because she sees Gary being consumed, and then you've got this cool shot of Shakma's throat. The camera is like in his throat, obviously a mechanic Shakma in this, and you see its teeth and the blood dripping from the teeth. That was a cool shot. It was nicely done. And also when they used a fake Shakma, it looked an awful lot like if you've seen Creepshow, the first one, the story about the crate, the creature in the crate, it looked like that. It really looked like that. So eventually, you know, everybody's dead. The only one who is still alive is Sam, and I don't understand. I don't understand why they don't get the fuck out of the building. They got the keys from Professor. They got the keys, the extra keys that were in his lap, and also nothing else happens on the other floors. It's all on floor 4. They can just pass it through the stairs. They all go back to the fourth floor for some weird reason. Kim, for some weird reason, wants to see, because she's friends with Richard, but they say he's dead. No, I want to see him. Okay, you're gone. Bye bye, Kim. I mean, and then you see Sam again. Ooh. I mean, it's. And then there's this another campus student, and she's waiting there for the door for somebody. I don't know who. Maybe somebody she hoped she would have been done with the game. And they're throwing through this vent like marbles and sporks, and she has the car stereo cranked up. She doesn't see it, and then she uses light, and then she says, oh, it was that dumb game, and she just drives away. She drives away. Aren't there actual windows? And like I said, they have all the keys. There's even a talk about we can call the security guard. So that means, is there a security guard on the ground floor, or a security ground, like patrolling? I don't understand. I don't understand. Then he calls the cops when Sam's the only one, and he's like, "That's all my fault." And then he hangs up. So he thinks he has to redeem himself to kill Shakma himself. So he puts these plaster things to here to here, so he can bite here. And he takes the spear with the syringe, but this time with 200 milligrams in it, and he takes a knife. Now Shakma attacks him. He gets a scratch here on the arm, but he stabs Shakma with this big of a blade, so he really hurt him. And then he does this. For some reason, he ditches the spear, but then he does this fuck you trick by standing there in the reflection of a window. Shakma goes after him. He flies through the mirror, and he falls into a furnace. Furnace closed. For the incinerator on. Bye bye Shakma. Then he does this weird thing. He's like walking like a zombie through the hallway, through all the bodies, because for some reason he was always getting the bodies in the hallways. For some reason, I don't know, getting the bodies in the hallway. I didn't understand that one iota. And I was like, oh, and then he falls down head first. So you think, okay, the guy's dead. But the only wound that he had was one scratch here. That's the only wound that he had. And then he sees the plush, because in the beginning of the movie, when Shakma killed Richard and Bradley, he takes the plush and he's caressing it. And you think that plush will come to play later on in the movie, that he will not kill Sam because of the bond they created. But apparently that bond wasn't worth jack shit, and when Sam falls on the ground, he sees the plush sitting in the corner, and he says, "I win." So I think he means I win the game and I win the fight with Shakma. And there the movie ends. Okay. Likes. I liked that they used a real baboon as much as possible. I liked the Dungeons and Dragons real life thing that was happening there. I liked a few shots, like I said, that throat shot of Shakma. I liked that one. The kill of Richard and Bradley. I like those two kills. Um, yeah, and that's about it. Character wise, there's no character that I liked. I hated Sam. I think he was a macho sexist that his manliness resulted in two deaths. Roddy McDowell, I've never been a fan of him. Now, luckily, in this movie, it doesn't say too much. Roddy McDowell not only raping Dr. Loomis in the ass, but uh, Clockwork Orange. He's this eccentric actor that wants to put some goofiness in there. You know, I don't like him. I don't like him. And then the rest of the actors, like Gary, Gary, Bradley, Richard, were idiots. Bradley was an asshole. I don't know why he was there. He didn't want to be there. I think he was because he was a friend of Sam, and Sam convinced him to be there, but he didn't wanna. There wasn't tension. There wasn't a creepy atmosphere. There wasn't a creepy score. They, for some reason, the monkey stayed on the fourth floor. So if you're on the fifth, sixth, third, or second floor, ground floor, you were safe. And I never understood that they never went to the ground floor and just, you know, trash. If they even, I mean, they had the keys. They didn't have to trash the window. They had the keys. I never understood that. And then everybody has to come back to the fourth floor for some weird reason, but I don't understand why. And the movie gets tedious and boring. The middle part is 30 minutes long. It's boring. Even for Shakma, he's just walking around fourth floor, and it's boring. It's really boring. And then a little, you know, and I had a few good actors. I mean, yeah, Ronnie McDowell, Amanda Wins, and Christopher Atkins. Amanda Wynn, I know her from somewhere, so I knew Highlander. Yeah, Highlander. She plays the, I believe she's the love interest of Christopher Reeve when he's in the future. Uh, I did not know about Christopher Atkins. I know his name, but I did not know he played in the Blue Lagoon with that beautiful woman. What's her name again? She played in Alice, Sweet Alice, as the twins, but one of the twins gets killed. Can't remember her name. And also a fun fact: Shakma's real name was Typhoon. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? So you know this movie. If you're a creature feature fan, yeah, check it out. Check it out. If you're a horror fan, also check it out. It's a 5. That means for me the score that it's a movie that's at least a one-time watch. That should be a one-time watch. Give it a chance. But if you're not a creature feature fan, then I would stay away from it, because it's, I don't think it's, you can try and risk it, of course. I'm not the boss of you, but it's gonna be a risk. It's gonna be a risk. So subscribe. You know, it's free to have some more horror fun. And see you next time. Adios.